Ever wondered about the whispers in the wind, the sun's fiery journey, or the earth's tremors that shook the ground beneath your feet? Imagine a world where these colossal forces were utterly unexplained, terrifying in their unpredictability. This was the reality for our ancestors. They looked up at the vast, enigmatic cosmos and sought answers not in textbooks or laboratories, but within their own minds, giving birth to a world brimming with gods. But were these gods mere figments of imagination, fantastical tales spun around campfires? Or did they serve a more profound, essential purpose? Consider for a moment the sheer vulnerability of early humans facing a world they couldn't control or comprehend. Their very survival depended on understanding, or at least making sense of, the powerful forces that shaped their lives. This quest for understanding, born from necessity and wonder, is the bedrock upon which mythology was built. Forget simplistic notions of primitive superstition. The creation of gods was a deeply intelligent, remarkably human act. It was an attempt to bring order to chaos, to find meaning in the seemingly random events of the natural world. It was a way to articulate their place within a vast, often frightening universe. Prepare to have your assumptions challenged. Uncover the compelling reasons why ancient people, across continents and cultures, felt compelled to populate their world with deities. Journey back to a time when the line between the natural and supernatural was blurred, and discover the ingenious logic behind myths that continue to resonate even today. The origins of mythology reveal not just the beliefs of the past, but fundamental truths about human nature itself. Building on that initial wonder, let's delve deeper into the world of mythology. It's easy to dismiss ancient myths as quaint stories, relics of a less enlightened time. However, to do so is to miss a crucial element of the human story. Imagine existing without the weather forecast, earthquake early warnings, or even basic astronomy. The daily sunrise and sunset, the changing seasons. These were profound mysteries. Ancient people weren't simply less intelligent. They faced a universe that was overwhelmingly enigmatic and often terrifying. This is the core problem mythology addresses: the human need to make sense of a world that often appears senseless. Faced with phenomena they couldn't explain through observation and experimentation as we do today, they turned inward to the realm of imagination and storytelling. Think of the anxiety of a farmer depending on rain for survival, with no understanding of weather patterns, or the fear of a community facing a volcanic eruption without knowing the geological forces at play. These weren't just intellectual puzzles. They were threats to survival, to their entire way of life. Mythology emerges not just from curiosity, but from a profound need for order and predictability in a chaotic world. It offered a framework, a narrative, to understand these powerful forces. Instead of random events, floods became the wrath of a water god, and bountiful harvests became gifts from a benevolent earth spirit. These personifications of nature weren't just fanciful. They were a way of making the immense and impersonal forces of the universe relatable and, to some degree, manageable. The journey into the origins of mythology, therefore, isn't just an academic exercise. It's an exploration of a fundamental human drive to find meaning, to impose order, and to cope with the uncertainties of existence. We'll unpack how the creation of gods wasn't a leap of blind faith, but a sophisticated and deeply human response to the profound challenges of living in an unexplained world. Prepare to see ancient myths in a new light, not as childish fables, but as ingenious solutions to very real and pressing human needs. Eager to explore more about myth origins and their profound impact on us? Unlocking the secrets of why ancient people created gods reveals deep truths about humanity and history. Subscribe now for more myth explorations and join our community in the comments below. Your insights and questions fuel our discussions. Let's unravel these timeless stories together. To truly grasp why ancient people created gods, we must shift our perspective, forget modern scientific explanations for a moment, and step into their world, a world brimming with unknowns. Our goal is to understand their motivations, their needs, and the ingenious solutions they devised. Think of it as detective work, piecing together clues from the myths themselves and the societies that birthed them. Firstly, recognize the immense power of the natural world in their daily lives. Imagine relying on the sun for warmth and crops, yet having no understanding of its celestial mechanics, or facing a devastating flood with no comprehension of river systems or rainfall patterns. For them, these weren't just natural events. They were acts of powerful, unseen forces. A practical step is to consider a specific natural phenomenon, like a thunderstorm, and ask, how would someone without scientific knowledge explain this? The answer often leads directly to the concept of a thunder god. Secondly, consider the human need for meaning and purpose. We all grapple with existential questions. Where do we come from? What's our role in the universe? Ancient myths provided answers. Creation myths, for example, weren't just stories. They were foundational narratives that defined a society's place in the cosmos and their relationship to the divine. To understand this, explore creation myths from different cultures and identify the core values and societal structures they reinforce. Finally, acknowledge the pervasive presence of fear and uncertainty in ancient life. Disease, famine, and warfare were constant threats. Gods offered a sense of agency and control in a world that often felt utterly chaotic. Rituals, prayers, and sacrifices weren't simply superstitious acts. They were attempts to engage with these powerful forces, to plead for favor or to avert disaster. Think about the anxieties of a pre-modern farmer. What would they pray for? Which gods would they seek to appease? Understanding these practical needs illuminates the role gods played in managing fear and uncertainty. By focusing on these practical steps and perspectives, the origins of mythology become less mysterious and more profoundly human. Why is understanding the origins of mythology not just an interesting historical pursuit, but something vital to grasp right now? We live in an era saturated with information, yet also plagued by misinformation, polarization, and cultural misunderstandings. The very human needs that drove our ancestors to create gods, the need to explain the unknown, find meaning, cope with uncertainty, and forge community, are still powerfully at play today, shaping our modern world. Consider the proliferation of conspiracy theories, the appeal of extremist ideologies, or the deep divisions fueled by differing belief systems. These modern phenomena, while seemingly distant from ancient myths, share a common root: the human drive to create narratives that make sense of a complex world and offer a sense of belonging. The challenge is that without understanding why these narratives, ancient or modern, take hold, we are ill-equipped to navigate the complexities of our current reality. The core problem is a lack of critical awareness about the fundamental human impulses that underpin belief formation. We often dismiss ancient myths as primitive and irrelevant, failing to recognize the enduring psychological and social needs they addressed. By understanding the origins of mythology, we gain a crucial framework for analyzing all belief systems, including those shaping our contemporary world. This understanding is not just academic, it's urgently practical. In a time where narratives battle for dominance, where misinformation spreads rapidly, and where cultural divides deepen, deciphering the origins of mythology provides invaluable insights. It equips us to recognize the underlying human needs driving belief, to critically assess competing narratives, and to foster more empathetic and informed engagement across diverse perspectives. Understanding why ancient people created gods isn't just about the past. It's about building a more understanding and nuanced future, starting now. To understand why ancient people created gods, we must first grasp some key ideas. Think about the world as they experienced it: overwhelming, unpredictable, and often frightening. A core concept is personification. Imagine trying to explain thunder without knowing about meteorology. The easiest way: attribute it to a person, a powerful being, a thunder god like Thor wielding a hammer. See how personification turns a natural phenomenon into an understandable, if still awe-inspiring, agent. Another crucial concept is anthropomorphism, giving human-like qualities to non-human things, especially gods. Why are gods often jealous, angry, or loving, just like us? Because early humans created them in their own image. This made the divine relatable. Instead of an abstract force, you had a being you could understand, perhaps even reason with. Think of the Greek gods on Mount Olympus, bickering and falling in love, very human, despite their powers. This wasn't just creative license. It was a way to make the vast universe feel less alien. Consider also the function of myth. Myths weren't just entertainment. They were vital tools. They explained the world, creation myths, justified social order, divine kingship, and provided moral guidelines. Stories of gods rewarding good and punishing evil. Myths gave structure and meaning to life. Imagine a society without shared stories to explain their origins or values. Would it hold together as strongly? Probably not. Myths were the social glue, the shared understanding that bound communities. Finally, remember universal human needs. Across cultures and time, humans share fundamental desires: to understand, to feel secure, to belong. Mythology and the gods within it emerged as a response to these deep-seated needs. Were gods real in a scientific sense? That's not the point. They were real in their function, in the profound role they played in shaping human societies and individual lives. Understanding these concepts, personification, anthropomorphism, myth function, and universal needs, is crucial to unlocking the mystery of why ancient people created gods. Let's put these concepts into action. Understanding personification, for example, isn't just about ancient gods. Think about modern advertising. Brands are often personified. Think of mascots like the Michelin Man or Tony the Tiger. They embody brand qualities, making companies relatable, just like ancient gods made nature relatable. Recognizing this technique helps us analyze how narratives are built today, not just in myths, but in marketing, politics, and even personal relationships. Applying anthropomorphism offers another practical lens. Consider how we talk about technology. We say computers think or AI is intelligent, imbuing them with human-like qualities. Understanding anthropomorphism, as seen in ancient gods, allows us to critically examine our relationship with technology. Are we projecting too much human agency onto non-human systems? Recognizing this tendency, rooted in the same impulse that created gods, is crucial in our tech-saturated world. Understanding the function of myth has direct relevance to navigating cultural differences. Myths shape values and social norms. When we encounter cultures with different beliefs, understanding the function their myths serve, rather than dismissing them as simply false, fosters empathy. For example, understanding a culture's creation myth can reveal their core values and perspectives on the world. The challenge is to move beyond our own cultural biases and appreciate the logic and purpose within different mythic systems. A strategy is to actively research and compare myths from various cultures, seeking to understand their underlying functions and the needs they address. By applying these lenses, we can move from passively consuming myths to actively analyzing their enduring relevance in both ancient and modern contexts. To reach a deeper understanding of mythology's origins, we must move beyond seeing gods as simple explanations for nature. Advanced analysis reveals myths as complex tapestries woven with multiple layers of meaning. Consider the flood myths found across cultures. From Noah's Ark to the Epic of Gilgamesh. On the surface, they explain devastating floods through divine wrath. However, deeper analysis reveals polysemy. Floods also symbolize societal cleansing, rebirth, and the cyclical nature of time. Anthropologist Claude Levi-Strauss argued that myths are not just stories, but tools for structuring thought, resolving societal contradictions, and transmitting cultural codes. Take the Greek myth of Prometheus stealing fire. It explains the origin of fire, but on a deeper level. It explores themes of human ingenuity, rebellion against divine authority, and the complex relationship between progress and suffering. These myths are not static. They evolve, adapt, and are reinterpreted across generations, reflecting changing societal values and concerns. Advanced strategies involve recognizing this dynamism, understanding that myths are not monolithic but fluid and multifaceted. By examining the layered meanings and cultural adaptations of myths, we gain profound insights not only into the past, but into the enduring power of narrative and symbolism in shaping human understanding. The enduring power of mythology isn't just a matter of historical curiosity. It's backed by research across disciplines. Anthropologist Bronislaw Malinowski, through his fieldwork in the Trobriand Islands, demonstrated how myths function as charters for social action, legitimizing social structures and moral codes. His studies revealed myths weren't just stories, but active forces shaping social reality. Similarly, psychologist Carl Jung argued for the existence of universal archetypes within the collective unconscious, reflected in recurring mythic themes across cultures. Jung believed these archetypes represent fundamental human experiences and motivations, explaining why certain mythic figures and narratives resonate so deeply across time and cultures. Recent neurological research further supports this. Studies using fMRI technology show that narrative processing engages multiple brain regions associated with emotion, memory, and social cognition. This suggests that myths as narratives have a powerful impact on our cognitive and emotional processing, shaping our understanding of the world and our place within it. Furthermore, sociological studies reveal the ongoing relevance of myth-making in contemporary society. From national myths that define collective identity to corporate myths that shape brand loyalty, narratives with mythic structures continue to influence behavior and belief in the modern world. Consider the American Dream, a powerful national myth that, while debated, continues to shape aspirations and societal expectations. Anecdotal evidence abounds. Look at the persistent influence of Greek myths in Western art and literature, or the ongoing relevance of indigenous creation stories to cultural identity and environmental stewardship. Statistics are harder to quantify directly for myth, but studies on the impact of narratives and persuasion and social influence consistently show the powerful role of storytelling in shaping beliefs and behaviors. Understanding the origins of mythology, therefore, isn't just an academic pursuit. It's a key to understanding the enduring power of narrative itself, a force that continues to shape our world in profound and often unseen ways. So, let's circle back to those initial questions. Were gods just made-up stories? Hopefully, it's clearer now that they were far more than that. They were ingenious solutions to very real human problems. Think about it. Faced with a world they couldn't control, ancient people didn't just despair. They created gods to make sense of it, to find their place, and to build communities. That's incredibly resourceful, right? Experts like mythologist Joseph Campbell often point out that these myths are like a kind of shared dream, a way for entire cultures to process big questions about life and death. And it works. Societies with strong mythologies historically have shown remarkable resilience and cohesion. It's not magic. It's about having a shared narrative that gives people a sense of purpose and belonging. Think of those fMRI studies we mentioned, showing how stories light up our brains. It's not just entertainment. It's fundamental to how we process information and connect with each other. Even today, in a world dominated by science, narratives still shape our beliefs and actions in profound ways. Understanding the origins of mythology isn't about dismissing ancient beliefs, but about recognizing the timeless human needs they addressed and how those needs continue to drive us today. The real takeaway is that we are, at our core, story-making creatures, and understanding those stories is key to understanding ourselves. So, we've journeyed back to the dawn of belief, uncovering why ancient people populated their world with gods. It wasn't just about fanciful stories. It was a fundamental human response to a world brimming with mystery and challenge. From explaining thunder to finding purpose in life, gods provided a framework for understanding, coping, and connecting. We saw how personification, anthropomorphism, and the very function of myth were ingenious tools for making sense of the cosmos and building cohesive societies. Now, what can you do with this understanding? Start by looking around you with new eyes. Notice how narratives shape our world today, from advertising to politics. See the echoes of ancient myth-making in modern belief systems and cultural stories. By recognizing the enduring human needs that birth mythology, you gain a powerful lens for critical thinking and deeper self-awareness. The journey doesn't end here. Dive deeper. Explore specific mythologies that fascinate you. Compare creation myths. Analyze hero stories. And see how different cultures tackled universal human questions. Engage in discussions, share your insights, and challenge your own assumptions. The world of mythology is vast and endlessly rewarding. By continuing to explore, you'll not only uncover the secrets of the past, but also gain invaluable tools for navigating the complexities of the present and shaping a more informed and empathetic future. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the myths alive. And so, as we look back at the dawn of gods, we see not a primitive past, but a mirror reflecting our own enduring humanity. The ancient quest to understand the universe, to find meaning, to connect. It's a quest that continues within each of us today. Mythology, in its origins, reveals our inherent capacity for wonder, for creativity, and for finding order in a world that often feels chaotic. These ancient stories are not relics of a bygone era, but living testaments to the power of the human spirit to seek answers and build meaning, even in the face of the unknown. Let the insights you've gained here be a starting point, not an end. The world is rich with mythologies, each a unique window into the human experience. Continue to explore these narratives, to question their origins, and to discover their echoes in our modern world. For in understanding why ancient people created gods, we come closer to understanding ourselves, our deepest needs, our enduring questions, and our boundless capacity to create meaning in a universe that calls out for explanation. The myths may be ancient, but the questions they address are eternally, profoundly human.